Hello, my friends. Greg Clowminzer here, and I want to share a funny story with you, um, but not just for the purpose of sharing a funny story, but to really help you to understand the power of understanding. So, just to give you a little context, a lot of the work that I've been doing lately is helping people understand what's behind the human experience. And it's information that can't be gotten at or understood just at an intellectual level. It has to be gotten through the vehicle or the via of insight and understanding. You have to see it for yourself. So that's a little context around the story I want to tell you this morning. So just bear with me and stay with me. The title of this story that I'm currently naming it is Finally a Close Shave. Finally a Close Shave. So as a man, shaving's a big part of our daily routine, and finding a good razor is seems like it should be something easy to do, but it's not always easy. So I was at one of the superstores here locally, I don't know, 6 or 8 months ago. And I was out of razors, and I decided to go ahead and bite the bullet and buy the bulk pack of razors. And they didn't have one that I was familiar with, or the one that I really liked, and was accustomed to, and it had features on it that really were perfect for me. It wasn't there, so I ended up trying something new, trying a different product. So that's what I got. And so the prompt is, here's the one I got. Here's the razor I got. And I bought it because there was good value and good price, and the brand was there. I recognized the brand. Anyways, I ended up buying this razor. Well, I spent about 6 months using that razor, and I wasn't really 100% satisfied with the product. And the reason being is this razor, this green bumper or barrier, was really in the way of me getting a close shave for some of those hard to find spots. Like for me, right under my nose here, that barrier was just preventing me from getting a really close shave under there, and it was really hard. I had to push my nose up, and that barrier, the bumper on the razor, kept getting in the way. And I've been shaving a long time. I understand shaving, I understand razors, and so I have an understanding of shaving and razors. But I really didn't have an understanding of this new product that it was new to me. So I shaved, and I kind of tolerated. I was kind of getting irritated, and I had all these razors, and I was committed to this product. I spent good money on it, and I had a bunch of them in my drawer. And I thought about the one razor that I really liked that they didn't have, and the feature that it had is, if I turn the blade around, it had a single blade on this side that I could get those hard to get spots. And for 6 or 8 months, I was just kind of frustrated. I got a good shave on it, but it just appeared to be lacking the features that were important to me. So that's kind of the tee up to all this. Then one day, my son wanted to take a bath in my bathtub, and he inadvertently knocked my razor over, and the blade exploded from the handle, and he was concerned that he had broken it, and I told him don't worry about it, and we picked it up, and he was trying to put it together. I said, no, just give it to me. I'll fix it. Don't worry about it. So he continued to take his bath, and I just kind of didn't think anything of it. Picked it up, threw the blade away, got a new blade out and put it in, and that was it. And that was really it. And then what happened? Later on that night, I had this insight, just out of the blue. I had this insight. And I remember seeing the blade and the handle in the bathtub broken apart. But what I also remember seeing is that green barrier on the top had popped open. And I started to wonder about that. I started to wonder about, was that a fluke, or did it actually break, or was it by design? And so I just kind of had that insight going, I wonder if there's more to this razor than I had been able to see. Was there something there that I wasn't able to see? And now I have kind of this insight. I remember seeing it popped open in my bathtub. And so I started to explore. And so I went back, I got in the trash, I pulled out the blade, and sure enough, I discovered that this top blade pops open and allows me to get to those close places that I wasn't able to get to before because of this barrier. Now, prior to this insight, I wasn't able to see that. It seemed like a really good, legitimate razor. I liked the shave. I liked the way it felt. But it was lacking, it appeared to lack a feature that I wasn't able to see or I didn't understand. And I can't tell you how excited I was when I had that insight. And so I actually went back into my other blades and was making sure it wasn't a fluke. And I put a brand new blade on here. And sure enough, it has that feature where it releases and allows me to get that nice close shave. So, what's the point of this story? Well, the point of this story is that sometimes we don't see the full picture of things. And that with a deeper understanding of something, when we really understand something that we weren't previously able to understand or we didn't see, we end up with a new experience based on that understanding. I remember for that 6 months when I was trying to get those close spots, I felt kind of irritated. I felt like I questioned the product, I questioned the value, I felt like I was tolerating. It's like, I'll never get this razor again, it's like, but I'm invested in it. So a lot of negative thinking around the product and my experience, which created a less than desirable experience and less than desirable way to start one's morning. With this insight and this new understanding about the blade and what was possible, and I got in the shower the next morning and I popped the guard up and I was able to get that nice clean shave and a whole new experience. I felt happy. I was excited. I had a greater appreciation for the design of the product. I felt like it was, I really got good value. But I want to point out, nothing changed with the razor. Nothing. What changed was my insight or my new understanding of what was possible for the razor. The razor didn't change. Nothing changed. My life didn't get better. Whatever it is, nothing happened except the fact that I had an understanding, a deeper understanding of how this blade works. So the point here is, and the point is just kind of a metaphor or a backdrop using a story to illustrate the power of understanding. It's the same thing with understanding our mind and understanding how as human beings we create our experience moment to moment. And without a deep understanding, or an insight into how our mind works and how we create our experience moment to moment, it's without that understanding, life seems hard. It's easy to get bitter. One feels like they're tolerating, or they're unhappy, or they're dissatisfied, or whatever the case may be. And these are all kind of metaphors based on my story. But once you have an insight into, or new insight, or a new thought, and you're able to see the features or how the mind works, and how there's principles underneath the human experience that, when understood, life becomes much, much easier. So anyways, I want to share this kind of a funny story, I think, with a razor, using a razor all along, had the features that I was looking for, just wasn't able to see it. And it wasn't until I had a new understanding and insight into it And probably metaphorically too, the insight came out of an accident. My son dropped the razor, an accident. I didn't even see it right away. I didn't have that insight immediately. It was only later on that evening that I had the insight. I'm like, I wonder if that's by design that thing pops up. Anyways, I hope you like this video. I hope it inspires you to be curious about, your own misunderstandings. Be curious about, what it is that you're not seeing, and curious about, what if I did have a greater insight into how my mind works, and what would that do for my overall experience of life? All right, this is Greg Clowminzer. If I can help you or support you in any way, feel free to reach out to me through my website, gregclowminzer.com. And until then, have an awesome day. Take care.